Doug, what a week. Here's what fellow Dem consultant James Carville had to say about Tuesday. Take a listen.
What went wrong?
What went wrong was just stupid wokeness. All right, don't just look at Virginia and New Jersey. Look at Long Island. Look at Buffalo. Look at Minneapolis. Even look at Seattle, Washington. I mean, just defund the police, lunacy, to take Abraham Lincoln's name off of schools. I mean, that people see that.
Doug, from one Democrat consultant to another Democrat consultant, do you agree, and do you think the party will listen?
Well, first of all, Tom, I do agree. Number two, I think it's actually worse than James Carville said, because if you've seen what's happened in the Congress this week, yes, we got the House to pass the infrastructure bill last night, and I think that's good. It's a bipartisan piece of legislation, roads and bridges. But my Democratic friends are pushing hard now to get that $1.8 trillion legislation on human infrastructure, which could be as much as $4 trillion through in the next couple of weeks. And Tom, this was also about, beyond wokeness, liberal democratic excess and progressivism. And bottom line, the American people spoke out against it on Tuesday. And if my party pushes for it and pushes this bill, and heaven forfend passes it, they will be in for bad outcomes in 2022, losing the Congress, I believe, and potentially losing the presidency in 2020.
What Doug is talking about is President Biden said that the social welfare bill is $1.75 trillion. The Wharton School of Business just did research on this and said it's actually probably going to end up being closer to $4 trillion. Kelly, President Biden came back from Europe. He took a question or two on Wednesday when announcing vaccinations for kids. In response to Tuesday's results, he had this to say.
We have to speak to them now. We have to speak to them and explain them. Look, I just think people are at a point, and it's understandable, where there's a whole lot of confusion.
Kelly, Americans are confused, apparently. That's probably one of the most condescending things I've ever heard a president say. Your response?
Listen, on Tuesday, Americans had three things to say, right? Three issues that were the Republican message. First is that inflation is out of control. We're spending more at the grocery store, we're spending more at the gas pump, and all of this spending is getting us nowhere. It's just adding to the debt and to the deficit, and is going to add to these inflationary pressures that we see, and we have to be fiscally responsive. You saw that in New Jersey. Here in Virginia, you saw education, parents wanting to have a say in their child's education. COVID-19 locked down our schools for 18 months. So it wasn't all about critical race theory. It was about opening the schools, getting the children the best education they have, supporting meritocracy and the teachers. Glenn Youngkin promised teacher pay raises. He had an entire plan that Republicans now can run on in the future. And lastly, it was about crime. You know, you saw this in Minneapolis, in Seattle. This defund the police movement does not resonate with any voters. They want safety in their community. They want their communities to have police and to be able to call 911 and have somebody respond to that call. And that's what you saw, those three issues that Republicans championed and then you have the woke, Democrats who were just basically running against President Trump, who was not on the ticket anywhere.
All right, Kelly Sadler and Doug Schoen. We'll see. It's going to keep on going, and 2022, as sad as it seems, starts right now. Appreciate your insights today.
Thank you.
Hi, Rob Carson here. If you love watching Newsmax, you're really going to love listening to our new podcast. It's called the Newsmax Daily. I host it, and I give you the best briefing of the big news of the day, top newsmaker interviews, and even, yes, a few laughs. I know it's hard to believe. So if you're driving, walking, exercising, just about anywhere, you can connect with the Newsmax Daily with me, Rob Carson. Find our podcast online or go to iPhone, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, and more, and start listening today.